Now I noticed that there was some interest in people wanting to understand more about this concept, this person, this ultimate person called Krishna, our relation to him, the position of the Atman, the position of the individual soul. And so, to go more in depth into this, I'm going to read from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by Srila Prabhupada. And this is the section called Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness, where it is basically Krishna teaching Jnana Yoga, or the path of self-realization, self-knowledge to Arjuna. And it's the section entitled Nature, the Enjoyer and Consciousness. And this is verse 13-3. Kshetra janam kapi mam vidhi sarva kshetresu parata kshetra jnayor jnanam yatha jnanam matam mama. And this means, O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. And this is Prabhupada's commentary on this, and he says, while discussing the subject of the body and the knower of the body, the soul and the SuperSoul, we shall find three different topics of study: the Lord, the living entity, and matter. In every field of activities, in every body, there are two souls, the individual soul and the SuperSoul. Because the SuperSoul is the plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna says, I am also the knower, but I am not the individual knower of the body. I am the super knower. I am present in every body as Paramatma, or SuperSoul, one who studies the subject matter of the field of activity, and the knower of the field. Very minutely, in terms of the Bhagavad Gita, can attain to knowledge. The Lord says, I am the knower of the field of activities in every individual body. The individual may be the knower of his own body, but he is not in knowledge of other bodies. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present as the SuperSoul in all bodies, knows everything about all bodies. He knows all the different bodies of all the various species of life. A citizen may know everything about his patch of land, but the king knows not only his palace, but all the properties possessed by the individual citizens. Similarly, one may be the proprietor of the body individually, but the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of all bodies. The king is the original proprietor of the kingdom, and the citizen is the secondary proprietor. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the supreme proprietor of all bodies. The body consists of the senses. The Supreme Lord is Parasikesa, which means the controller of the senses. He is the original controller of the senses, just as the king is the original controller of the activities of the state. The citizens are secondary controllers. The Lord says, I am also the knower. This means that he is the super knower. The individual soul knows only his particular body. In Vedic literature, as it is stated as follows: Kshetrani hi sarirani bijam kapi subha subhe tani veti sa yogatma tata kshetrajna gate. This body is called the Kshetra, and within it dwells the owner of the body and the Supreme Lord, who knows both the body and the owner of the body. Therefore he is called the knower of all fields. The distinction between the field of activities, the knower of activities, and the supreme knower of activities is described as follows. Perfect knowledge of the constitution of the body, constitution of the individual soul, and the constitution of the SuperSoul is known as Jnana. That is the opinion of Krishna. One who does not understand the field of activity and the knower of activity is not in perfect knowledge. One has to understand the division of the position of Prakriti, nature, and Purusa, the enjoyer of nature, and Isvara, the knower who dominates and controls nature and the individual soul. So in this way they're describing the Holy Trinity as Prakriti, Purusa, and Isvara. And Prakriti is talked about as kind of like a Sakti or Kundalini, kind of like as the mother aspect, the matter aspect. Like as they talk about Mula Prakriti, which is the germ root energy which rises. It's the Mula Prakriti is the root energy, and there's higher Prakritis, and there's many Purusas, and then there is Isvara, the Lord. One should not confuse the three in their different capacities. One should not confuse the painter, the painting, and the easel. This material world, which is the field of activities, is nature, and the enjoyer of nature is the living entity. And above them both is the Supreme Controller, the personality of Godhead. It is stated in the Vedic language, in the Svetsavatara Upanishad 1-12, Bhokta Bhogyam Preritaram Kamatval Sarvam Proktam Trividham Brahmanetat. These are the three Brahman conceptions. Prakriti is Brahman as the field of activities, and the Jiva, the individual soul, is also Brahman, and is trying to control material nature. And the controller of them both is also Brahman, but he, uppercase he, is the factual controller. In this chapter it will be explained that out of the two knowers, one is fallible and the other is infallible. One is superior and the other is subordinate. One who understands the two knowers of the field to be one and the same contradicts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who states here very clearly, I am the knower of the field of energy. One who misunderstands a rope to be a serpent is not in knowledge. These are different kinds of bodies, and there are different owners of the bodies, because each individual soul has his individual capacity for lording it over material nature. There are different bodies, but the Supreme also is present in them as the controller. The word Ka is significant, for it indicates the total number of bodies. That is the opinion of Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusana. Krishna is the SuperSoul, present in each and every body apart from the individual soul. And Krishna explicitly says here that real knowledge is to know that SuperSoul. Is to know that the SuperSoul is the controller of both the field of activities and of the finite enjoyer.
Where is the